Leave your thing of oatmeal for breakfast.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Be careful. Love you.
Love you too.
I can't believe you're doing this.
Well, if we don't, I'm not going to make that bus.
I left that morning before sunrise, as I needed to be at the Lake McDonald Lodge by no later than 1 p.m. There I would get on a red bus, and it would get me back to the trailhead and our SUV. It took me only about 15 minutes to get to the main trail, but then I was headed up the ridge in the dark in grizzly country. I have to say I was a bit apprehensive hiking through this area by myself.
It's about 7:30, getting close to it. Maybe 7:15. I haven't really even looked to see, but it's somewhere around there. What a view. Incredible view. Down there on that peninsula sticking out, that's right around where our campground was.
While Dustin was making his way up the ridge toward Lincoln Pass, Dave and I enjoyed a hot cup of coffee and a quick breakfast. He then gathered the water that we needed for our journey out. I have to admit, I was a little worried about Dustin, hiking up in the dark, knowing grizzlies were in the area. Who am I kidding? Dustin's not afraid of the dark or grizzlies. He'll be okay. We then began our climb up toward Lincoln Pass, just around daybreak.
So the plan was to hike through Gunsight Pass, Lake Ellen Wilson, come out at Lake McDonald Lodge, and then take a shuttle back to the Jackson Glacier trailhead. Unfortunately, the shuttles quit running by this time of year, but I was able to secure one last seat on a red bus at 1:30. So I've got to be to Lake McDonald Lodge by 1:30. Hence, I got up at 5:30, got packed up and hit the trail by 6:30. And I'm making really good time. But I've got to get there by 1:30 or I miss our little red bus. Then I don't know how we're getting back to Jackson Glacier. That gives David and Karen time to hike out leisurely. Now, I will say the little red bus only goes to Logan Pass now. So it's about 4.5 miles from Logan Pass to the Jackson Glacier trailhead. So I'm going to run that. It's all downhill, and I can run 5 miles quite easily. So it's going to be an eventful day if everything goes according to plan. You know how that is, everything going according to plan. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it just doesn't. When you hike these trails for the first time, you always think you're near the top, and then you find out there's one little last push, and that's where I'm going right now. Right over this. And I don't think there's any higher I can go than this. So I've got one little last push up over this little saddle here, and it should be all downhill to the lodge. When you get in these huge areas like this that are wide open, that lake looks like it's just there, just a mile or two away, but it's actually about 6 miles from here.
I must say the hike out from Lake Ellen Wilson was very challenging for me, but the views were so beautiful.
Well, good morning. You having a good morning? Second mule deer I've seen in the last few minutes. So obviously there's no grizz running around here right now that I know of.
That's a strong grizzly.
They're out here. Okay, I'm making really good progress. It's 9 o'clock. I've got about 4 miles to go, and I've got plenty of time to get there, 4.5 hours. So I'm gonna get there early. I'm gonna see if I can get on an earlier bus than the 1:30 bus. One thing I'll say about this trail, I'm not through with it yet, but if I was going to hike it again, that's from the Jackson Glacier Overlook through Gunsight Pass to Lake McDonald. I'd definitely hike it in that direction. Because if you start at the Lake McDonald Lodge, you're gonna come up some serious elevation. Probably if you go all the way over to Lake Ellen Wilson, 3,000 feet to get up through that pass. If you hike it this direction, I'd definitely stay at Sperry Chalet campground or the chalet itself before going on any further. Unless you just like that kind of elevation gain. And some people can handle that pretty easily. So anyway, I'm moving on, headed on. So far, no problems. Worried about Karen getting over that pass and then getting back down. This is brutal. It's all downhill for like, I guess probably 6 miles or more.
Excuse us. I'm just gonna walk on by. Thank you.
So I'm down in the woods now, and so I'm getting there. It feels nice and cool down here. Fortunately, we had some cloud cover come over, and I hope that helps David and Karen up on the ridge. Otherwise, they were just going to be baked by the sun going over that pass. It's not much wind today, and it is warm today. I think the high is supposed to be around 70, maybe warmer.
As we neared the Sperry Chalet, we were greeted by another mountain goat standing there by the side of the trail.
So I've been hiking for 4 hours. I'm 10 miles in, and I'm about a mile from the lodge. And I did meet a ranger along the trail, and she did confirm that this is more than 8.8 miles. She said it's over 10. So I'll check back in with you when I get to the lodge. Be there in a little while. So there it is, what I've been waiting to see, the Lake McDonald Lodge, 4 hours and 25 minutes, and by the time I cross the street, I'm gonna be at 11 miles. So it is more than 8.8. which the ranger told me she thought it was over 10. So this total route, instead of being 19.6, is probably around 24 miles, maybe a little more, maybe 24 and a half. Now just to get across the street without getting run over. Then I've got to get the red bus. I'm going to see if they'll put me on the earlier bus.
On our way to Lake McDonald. So it's, I'd say we're halfway there, don't you, David?
Yes, we are halfway there.
Yeah, so another 2 hours maybe. Going downhill. We're just tired from coming over the pass, but it has to be done. And Dustin's already, I'm sure, safe and sound. And he'll pick us up in Lake McDonald with the car. Okay.
I had one mishap, and so I get to Lake McDonald Lodge, and the lodge is closed, and the red bus tour is not there. Now, when I booked that tour a few days ago, they didn't say anything about that, and it had been moved, the pickup area, to Apgar Village, which is 9 miles away. Nobody there at the lodge was any help, so I ended up hitchhiking. First time to ever hitchhike in my life. And a lovely young woman named Jen came along just within a few minutes after I got out on the road and picked me up. She was headed this way and took me to Apgar Village. Yeah, that's just, there are good people out there. So often, all we hear on the news is the bad, all the evil that's in the world. But there's still a lot of people out there that are just good people. And I got to do something I've never done before, hitchhike. So, hey, it's all good. I'll be at the Apgar Visitor Center in just a minute. I'll check with you once I get on the big red bus. So here I am in Apgar Village, and the red buses are coming in. It's about 1:10, so I've got about 20 minutes before I get on the bus. Guy told me it's going to take about an hour and a half to get to Logan Pass, so then I've got to work my way from Logan Pass down to Jackson Glacier, which is about another 4 miles. So I'm thinking probably 4 o'clock by the time I get to the car, and then 30 minutes to get back here. So probably about 4:30. Hopefully they're taking their time and they don't get here before that and have to wait forever. But anyway, I'll be getting on the bus, the Lord willing, in a few minutes.
It's not a flattering video.
Not at all. Cut.
Your pack's not even on straight.
So I'm here at the McDonald Lodge, and it's right at 4 o'clock. It took me about 50 minutes to get here. Let's see, holy smokes. That may be David right down there. I believe it is. But I don't see Karen. Let's see what's going on here. Hey!
Hey,
I can't believe it. You guys just getting here?
yeah,
Where's your mom?
she's up at the lodge.
All right, what should I do? Just go down?
Go park over here.
All right, I'll meet you down
All
there.
right.
I can't believe that. I cannot believe there she is right there. Wow. How are you doing?
I don't know.
That was quite a hike, wasn't it?
That was about an 8-mile death march.
It was 11 miles. I got 11 miles.
That was about 3,000 feet straight down
Yeah, it
the
was.
entire time.
That was horrible.
How are you doing?
Got anything to drink?
No, I don't have anything to drink.
That was horrible.
You think so?
Is the lodge open?
No, it's closed. Everything's closed. The red buses weren't here.
Yeah, the convenience store is closed.
Yeah, the red bus wasn't here.
How'd you get the car?
That's a long story. The pickup place was in Apgar Village.
When did you get here?
I got here at 11.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I got here at 11. I hiked
How?
it. I don't know. I just started. I'll prove it to you. I've got it on the phone. I hiked it in 4.5 hours, full 11 miles. And it was 11 miles. I stopped and talked to a park ranger, and I told her, I said, this is supposed to be 8.9 miles or 8.8. I said, I've got 10 miles already. And I was about a mile from the thing. She said, yeah, it's over 10 miles. I stopped and talked to her. I stopped and talked to 2 other ladies that were asking me about bears. But other than that, I just started hiking, and I felt good.
Well, we were praying for you because we didn't know if you'd make it.
Well, you didn't ask me how I got to Apgar Village.
How did you get to Apgar Village?
I did something I've never done before in my life.
You did.
Yes. A hitchhike. And here's the thing. I went to the lodge because it said it was closed, but there were some people in there. There were some people in the lodge, and so I went in there and I said, where's the red bus tour? And they said, the pickup is in Apgar Village. I said, well, no one told me that. I said, how far is Apgar? She said, it's about 9 miles. And I was like, 9 miles. And I said, I've got 2.5 hours. I can't make 9 miles in 2.5 hours unless I run. And I said, can anyone give me a ride? She said, no, they were no help at all. So I just went out on the main road and started hitchhiking, and I didn't go more than 100 feet. Then a young lady pulled over who's just been vacationing here by herself, and she was headed back toward Kalispell.
Wow.
And she picked me up. Her name was Jen, took me all the way to Apgar. And here's what's really crazy. You're not going to believe this, how I got here this early, because I wouldn't have been here till probably 5. So I get down to the red bus tour. It's right at like 12, so I got an hour and a half. And some buses come in, and I see this guy park one of the buses, and I saw him go behind it, so I thought maybe he's eating lunch. So I went over there to talk to him, and I said, can I take my pack on the bus? I'm riding the bus at 1:30. And he said, well, I don't know. He said, how big is it? I said, it's a full pack. I said, I want to go up to Logan and get off at Logan Pass. He said, well, where are you going after Logan Pass? I said, I'm going to go hike down to Jackson Glacier. And he's like, dude, that's over 4 miles. I said, I know, but I've already hiked 11 today. What's another 4?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I like your attitude. So I went and ditched my pack in the woods there.
I'm so sorry for you.
And then 4 buses pulled up, and this guy gets out. I guess he was the head of the buses, and he said, are you the hiker guy? And I said, yeah. He said, where's your pack? I said, I stuck it in the woods. He said, go get it. And so I went and got it. He said, yeah, you can carry that on the bus. And he said, I'm going to put you on Rich's bus because he likes to go past, Logan Pass.
Yeah.
And so I get on the bus. It took us an hour and 40 minutes to get to Logan. And normally he stops at Logan's and lets everybody gets out. And he said, does anyone need to go to the bathroom right now? And everybody said no. He said, do you mind if we get this hiker guy back there, Mr. Drake, he needs to get to Jackson Glacier. Do you mind if we just take him on and we'll stop at Logan on the way back? And everybody said, yeah. So he took me all the way to the car. He drove me all the way
4 miles past where you're supposed to go.
Yes, and his name was Rich French. I got to send him I got to send him a gift card or something.
Definitely.
But I right there at the car, and that's how it took me 50 minutes to get back here.
Well, we were worried that you fell down the mountain or something. I don't know how you got here that fast. 'Cause I thought that was pretty hard.
It was a hard hike. It was a hard hike. I didn't think I was ever going to get down. That was the thing. You just kept going down for like 8 miles.
It was like 3,600 feet down.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So, you guys thirsty?
Yes, let's go. This is closed. We got to get something to drink.
You guys want to go to Apgar?
Yes,
Apgar's
let's go.
open?
Yeah, there's that little restaurant there. We could eat there.
All right.
Let's go. Cheeseburger. This is our victory meal. 3 days. We're dead.
Any mayo or
I would love some mayonnaise. This looks so good.
I just want to pray. Father,
Okay.
I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything working out today. It's just crazy how everything could have went.
Hey, one last caveat to yesterday's adventure. We no sooner had gotten back to the KOA campground than it began to storm. It literally rained all night. It's been raining most of the morning, turned much colder, and the wind just started blowing probably 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts. We would have had to sleep in that last night and then hike out into this morning. But you know, the scripture tells us that God works all things together for the good to those that love him and are called according to his purpose. And I believe that's true. Or as my late father-in-law, J.D. Bennett, used to say, God takes care of fools and idiots, or probably none of us would be alive. Hey, I want to thank you for joining us on this adventure, and I hope to see you out on the trail sometime. Bye.